Hello and welcome to this short yoga practice. This is ideal when you haven't got a great deal of time, but you want to get moving, you want to get some movement into your body. So we're going to start seated today. So come and find a comfy seated position. It doesn't have to be legs crossed. It can be legs out straight. It can be knees bent. It can be whatever feels most comfortable for you. And we will take a few moments to ground, ready for our asana practice. So taking our awareness to the base of the spine, lifting the awareness all the way up the spine to the crown of the head, seeing if we can sit up a little bit taller. With an in-breath, take the shoulders all the way up to the ears, and with an out-breath, allow the shoulders to drop. We're looking for a very, very slight opening through the heart space. Bring the hands to rest somewhere that feels comfortable. So we've taken the weight out of our shoulders. Keep the chin either parallel with the ground or very slightly tucked, yogi's choice. And then when we found our comfortable position, either closing down the eyes or lowering the gaze, if that feels more comfortable. Bringing our awareness to any sounds that we might be able to hear. Seeing if we can focus in on the furthest sound we can hear. Starting to bring our awareness to the sounds a little bit closer to us. Bringing our awareness to the temperature of the room and how that feels against our skin. Now moving our awareness into our body, noticing how our body feels sitting against the ground. I've got a little yoga buddy here. Taking our awareness into those very important toes. How many times today or in the last few days have you checked in with your toes? Maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle. Checking in with the heels, the ankles, your knees, hips. Allowing the whole bottom half of your body to sink a little bit deeper into your mat, releasing, letting go of any tension. Taking a moment to recheck that spine. Has it very slowly started to come forward? Seeing if we can lift up through the crown of the head, keeping those shoulders nice and low. Checking in with the back of the neck, the forehead, eyebrows, cheeks, shoulders, elbows, fingers. Taking a moment to check in with yourself, asking yourself, how do I feel? How am I feeling? And if you are working with a Sankalpa, now is a really lovely time to remind yourself of that Sankalpa, your intention. Allowing your awareness to land on your breath. Not changing anything, merely observing the gentle in-breath, gentle out-breath. Aware of the quality of your breath as you breathe. And notice where your breath lands as you breathe in. And then we'll very gently flutter open the eyes, and with an inhale, we're going to sweep the hands all the way up, lifting up through the sides of the body. Maybe take the gaze to the thumbs as we come into Anjali Mudra. And as we exhale, we bring the hands to heart center. Inhaling, sweeping the hands all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, sweeping the hands up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. This time with the inhale, we'll sweep the hands up. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our right hand down to the mat, keep a little micro bend in the elbow, and with the exhale, coming over into a side bend. A few deep breaths here, filling up the left side of the body. Inhaling, reaching the hands all the way back up. Exhaling, left hand down to the mat. This time, micro bend in that elbow. Exhale into a side bend. Big breaths in, filling up the side of the body, the right side of the body. And then inhale, bring the hands up, back overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers and start to create a figure of 8 through the wrists. And then, without overthinking it, see if we can go in the other direction, which is never very successful for me. I'm getting some love this morning. And then we'll release the hands, we'll give the wrists a little bit of a shake out. Pop the hands on the knees or somewhere on the thighs that feels comfortable, and we'll start to make some circles. And you'll know what is about the right size circle for your body, because hopefully it'll just feel really good. Sorry, Milo. And then we'll go in the other direction. Making any adjustments for any pets that might be with you. And then with an inhale, we'll come back up to seated. With the next inhale, we're going to sweep those hands back up. We're going to come into our twist. So with the exhale, we bring the left hand down to the right knee, right fingertips are just very loosely, very lightly placed on the ground behind us. As we inhale, we want to lengthen through the spine, pull that core to center, and with the exhale, find the twist. It's less about getting the neck twisted and more about twisting through the waist. Nice full breaths. And then inhale, sweep the hands back over, and we'll come into the twist on the other side. So as we exhale, right fingertips, left knee, left fingertips just gently on the ground. Inhale to lengthen, pull the core to center. Exhale to twist. And then inhale, come and bring sweep the hands back overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to make our way into tabletop, coming onto all fours. So if you were sitting on a block, just pop that to one side. And so we'll create some space between the fingers and the thumbs. We want wrists roughly underneath shoulders, knees roughly underneath hips. We'll come into some forwards and backwards movement, just very gently moving as far as feels comfortable. Again, follow your body, be guided by your body. Your body is your best teacher. You'll know what feels right for you. Hello. Are you joining in? Never work with children or animals. And then from here, we'll come into some cat-cow. So as we inhale, lift the heart, allow the tummy to drop. And as we exhale, slowly rounding through the spine, pushing up through the palms of the hands, pulling in that lower tummy. Inhaling, allowing the tummy to release. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, taking the gaze to the knees. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rounding. And then we'll come back to our neutral spine. We'll bring the big toes to touch, take the knees wide to the outside edges of the mat, and we'll sit back on the heels, coming into a child's pose. So allow your body to settle, to soften, taking slow, steady breaths in all the way to the base of the spine. And slow, steady breaths out. And then slowly walk the hands over to the right hand side. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can pop the left hand on top of the right. Allow yourself to settle, breathing into the left side of the body. Inhaling back through center and coming over to the left side of your mat. Again, right hand on top of left if you want to make it a little bit more intense. Find that softness and breathe into the right side of the body. Inhale, bring the hands back to center and then slowly bring yourself back up into tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to inhale, pull in that lower tummy. Hover the knees off the ground about an inch, so we're starting to fire up the core. And then with your next exhale, we're looking to send the bottom back, coming into downward facing dog. So taking it gently with a Ahimsa in mind. Oh, click, click. Start to pedal through the heels very gently, easing yourself into this shape. This is my first down dog for a number of days. So allowing yourself to settle. And then from here, we're going to gently bring this right foot through. See if we can pop it in between the hands. Pop the left knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, come up onto the fingertips. With your next inhale, see if we can lift up nice and high, keeping those shoulders low into our low lunge. As we exhale, we can cactus out the arms. Maybe we can get a little bit deeper into this hip. If your low lunge is here, that is perfect. Everybody's body is different. And then inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, bring those hands down to the ground. We're going to lift this back knee and then step back into our downward facing dog. So again, taking your time, slow, steady breath in, slow, steady breath out. And then we'll bring this left foot through. See if we can pop it in between the hands. Drop this back knee, untuck the toes. Inhale up to the fingertips. Inhale lifts that low lunge all the way up. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Few breaths here. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhaling, hands down to the ground. Lift that back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into high plank. Pop those knees down, bring the big toes to touch. Sit back into a child's pose. Inhale, come back up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Give the head a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a nod. Inhale, sweep that right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that right knee to the elbow. See if we can pop the foot on the outside edge of our mat. So we're coming into lizard, option to drop that back knee, untuck the toes if you want. If you've got your back knee lifted, remember to push through that back heel so the leg's engaged. Allow yourself to settle. Your lizard might be here, it might be here. It very much depends. Just allow your body to adjust into this shape. There is no need to rush. And then once you feel ready, you might be able to come down onto the forearms. You might like to see if you can drop the hips and lift the heart. Or you might like to see if you can come into a twist, looking over that right shoulder. Breathing deeply. And then popping that hand back down on the ground. We'll come up, back into three-legged dog. Exhale, pop that right foot down on the ground. And then with your next inhale, we're going to float the left leg up, three-legged dog. And then with the exhale, we're going to see if we can pop this left foot on the outside edge of your mat, coming into lizard. So again, option to drop that back knee, untuck the toes. If you've got your leg lifted, remember to keep the leg engaged by pushing through the heel. And then give yourself a few breaths just to settle. We don't want to cause any injuries. And then after a few breaths, you might feel that you want to take your lizard a little bit further. And again, that options are down onto the forearms, or dropping the hips, lifting the heart, or coming into that twist. And then bring that left hand down. Inhale, sweep this left foot back, three-legged dog. Exhale, pop this foot back down on the ground. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, drop the knees, bring the big toes to touch, and then come back into a child's pose. Inhale, come up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck those toes back into downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bring that knee through to center. See if we can pop that foot in between the hands. This time we're coming up into a high lunge, so you might need to just step that back foot in slightly so you don't feel like you're doing the splits as you come up. Take your time to find your balance. If you need to take your feet to the outside edges of the mat, absolutely do that. And then when you're ready, we're going to pull that core to center and come up super strong, super slow and controlled. So settling into our high lunge. And then we're going to bring our left hand forward, right hand back, take the gaze over towards the right thumb. If you want to, you might like to see if you can drop that right hand down to the back of the left leg and bring the left hand up towards the sky. Inhale, bring the arms back up to shoulder height. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step back, three-legged dog. Exhale, pop that foot down on the ground. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, see if we can pop this left foot through. Find our high lunge position. Inhale, come up nice and strong. Bring the right hand out in front. Left hand behind, take the gaze to the left thumb. Perhaps you can see if you can bring that left hand down to the back of the right leg, lifting the right hand up to the sky. Deep breaths. Inhale, bring the arms back to shoulder height. Sweep the hands back overhead, straightening up. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Inhale, sweep that left leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bit of a pedal. Deep breaths. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Bring the big toes together. Sit back into Balasana. Inhale, come up to our tabletop. And then from here, we're going to make our way back into a seated position. So coming down to our seated position, this time we're going to bring our legs out in front. We're going to come into Dandasana. So we want the legs nice and straight, a little micro bend in the knees. If you need to keep your knees a little bit more bent, absolutely. If it feels even better with a block underneath for support, absolutely do that. We're going to make sure that our toes are pointing all the way up to the sky, so the feet are engaged. We're going to bring the hands down to either side of the hips. Inhale, lift up through the spine, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep the hands up and over the head. And then with an exhale, we're going to see if we can very gently come forward. So this is most definitely more about bringing the chest to the knees, not the head. So as we inhale, we want to visualize lengthening from the base of the spine. So we're wanting to send the crown of the head up into the sky, pulling that core to center. And then perhaps as we exhale, we may be able to feel a little bit of softening. So inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to soften. No pushing, no pulling, no grabbing, no forcing, just allowing our bodies to settle and for gravity to do what it does best. With your next inhale, we're going to slowly come back up to a seated position. We're going to bring this right knee into our chest, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to bring the left arm around the right knee. We're going to take our right fingertips behind us, just very lightly on the ground. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to find that twist. Inhale to come back to center. We're going to send that right leg out, and this time bring in our left knee. Again, giving it a little bit of a hug, sitting up nice and tall, bringing the right hand around, right arm even around the left knee, left fingertips behind us. Inhale to find length through the spine. Pull that core to center. Exhale, finds the twist. Inhale, come all the way back to center. We're going to straighten this left leg out. This time we're going to bring the soles of our feet together into Baddha Konasana. Option to have the heels can be as close or as far away as your knees allow. So find your comfortable spot, the spot that works best for you in your body. Taking hold of the feet or the ankles, wherever feels comfortable. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then with an exhale, we're just going to allow ourselves to melt. Releasing any tension. And then very slowly inhale, coming all the way back up to seated. Use the hands to guide the knees closed like a book. And we're going to roll ourselves down to the ground. Option to make this as easy or as challenging as you want. We'll slowly come down. We'll bring the knees into the chest. Give ourselves a little hug. Maybe there's a rock side to side. Seeing if we can get as much of our spine down on our mat as possible. And then we'll allow our legs to come out, come down to the mat. Allow the hands to land at the side of the body. Palms facing up, closing down the eyes. Taking a moment to check in, noticing any sensations that we might be able to feel in our body. Any tingling in the fingers and the toes. Reminding ourselves of our Sankalpa. Bringing our awareness to our breath. Aware of the quality of your in-breath. And the quality of your out-breath. And seeing if we can very gently start to lengthen that breath. Taking each inhale further down the spine. Feeling your tummy fill up as you breathe in fully. And feeling your tummy empty as you slowly breathe out. Slow, steady breaths in. Slow, steady breaths out. You are more than welcome to stay in this Shavasana if you have the luxury of time. If you are ready to come out of this practice, Bring your awareness to the temperature of the air and how that feels against your skin. Noticing the sounds. Aware of those sounds that are nearby. Moving your awareness further out, noticing the sounds that are a little bit further away. Slowly bringing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little hug, a little rock. Rolling over onto one side and then very gently bringing yourself up to our final seated position, whatever that may be. We'll bring the hands to heart center. Thank yourself for taking this time to focus on you, taking this time to practice your yoga. Om Shanti.